So I'm in a wonderful place in my life. I retire from my job in about 6 months. My successor has already been chosen, so now I'm just an advisor. I have a lot of freedom opening up to me. So I'm exploring a lot of new things, opening myself up to learning new things in different ways, exploring things that I've really put off for 40 years. And I don't have a great question for you,
We have one for you.
Okay.
How's your successor doing?
Wonderfully, so far. It's only been a week.
So what does it feel like to impart that knowledge that you've amassed to another? Do you feel your successor is qualified?
Yes.
And does it feel fun to pass that baton?
Oh, yeah. It feels great.
Because?
Well, I feel like I can freely give advice and my knowledge without really any agenda or judgment other than to help that person be the best that they can be.
Because?
It's fun to do it.
Because?
I don't know where to go.
Because you're not invested in the outcome.
Yeah, I'm not invested in the outcome. Not at all.
So
I can be as loving to her and to all the people who used to work for me now as I want to be, and they know that there's no agenda, no evaluation at the end of it, no judgment at the end of it from my part.
Well,
so it's wonderful.
We're not talking so much about their response about it as your feeling within it, because we think it would serve you really well if together we can identify why this feels so good, other than because you're going to be free of responsibilities, some of which you don't want. But you are a creator, and you are always going to want something to turn your attention to. And before you know it, you're going to have a whole other set of things that you are going to be turning your attention to, because you cannot remain idle, and you do not want to be without something to focus upon. And so there is the potential of moving as you are, which is not in a bad place, but moving vibrationally as you are just into the new experience, and then replicating in large part the way you feel about that as well. We see it all the time with people who are retiring from something that they've done for a very long time. And the feeling of exhilaration in the leaving behind the unwanted things doesn't carry them very far. But if you can, in these 6 months before you actually make this transition completely, if you can identify what is at the basis of your free feeling. In other words, we know that you are a good teacher, and we know that you are an excellent mentor, and we know you care about what you are passing on to someone else. We also know that there are aspects of it that you are joyously leaving behind. But you cannot really joyously leave something behind that you've been invested in for a very long time just by acknowledging that you're no longer invested in it. In other words, there's a missing piece in there. And so we think, when we were asking why, I think it would serve you very well to acknowledge that just like every relationship is an eternal relationship, everyone, that this experience that you've had for all of this time is an eternal experience. In other words, you will never be able to separate yourself vibrationally from it. And so how you say goodbye to it, the way saying goodbye to someone or something or some experience, is by acknowledging you never can. You can never say goodbye to it. So in these 6 months, if we were standing in your physical shoes, we would be trying to figure out how we are going to continue to say hello to it. You see what we are getting at? We would look at it in terms of what it has meant and what you still are believing. Now, of course, you won't be invested in it like you have been, but there will still be an investment. And so what we're saying is, and this is new, you have not heard us say this before, since there is no goodbye to anything, there is only motion forward. It's good for you to decide what your new relationship with it will be. Is this a relationship of good riddance? Is this a relationship of well wishes? Is this a relationship where what I've set into motion will continue to receive advantage because I'm continuing to occasionally think about it? You see what we're getting at? You think that you keep in touch with one another on Facebook. You think that you keep in touch with one another through your correspondence or through your communication, through your rendezvous. That is minuscule in comparison with the way you keep in touch with one another through your memories, through your contemplation, through your anticipation, through your giving your attention to, in the here and now, something about it. So what we're getting at, and we know it feels long and a little bit boring if you're not right up on this leading edge with us, but what we are really saying to you is, since you've had so much history there and there is so much vibration that will naturally come forth within you, you got 6 months to make sure you've got that vibration in the place that you want it to be, that will serve you, you see. And it's not enough to say, I'm done with that and now I'm going to go do something else, or now I'm not bound, now I'm more free. It's not enough, because you were never bound by the place or by the space or by the people or by the responsibility or by your actions. It was always about the attention to those subjects, you see. You're following? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So when we ask, is this new person qualified? You said yes, but you don't know. You said, yes, I think so. Well chosen, well vetted. But what we're really asking you is, what grid work have you done in your expectation? What have you done relative to your expectation about what's going to happen after you're gone? In other words, have you contemplated? Have you brought yourself to that joyful place that we were describing to you, that the source within you feels about what you are doing? Because it's not different from that, you see.
I haven't given any thought about what that place will look like after I'm gone.
Yeah. Why? Because you think you can walk out the door and be done with it.
Yeah,
that's the thing that we're wanting you to all understand. You never walk out the door and be done with anything, because you have vibrational history going on. There's active vibration within you that doesn't just stop vibrating when you walk out the door. So when you walk out the door, you're going to have that vibrational history that is going to affect your point of attraction. You see, we're wanting to convince you that you are vibrational beings. You're not the physical human that is walking out that door. You're a vibrational human with many, 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 many ties. A vibrational being with many, many, many ties.
There are a lot of aspects of that experience that I know I'll carry with me. The basic job of stock market investing is something that I'll do as a hobby. The people that I work with, that I enjoy working with, I will continue to be in touch with. But all the corporate and business side and organizational side of it, I already am losing interest in it.
Well, there will be plenty of things that will reactivate that interest as you're moving along. And we're just suggesting that if you leave it in the place where when you revisit it, it serves you. You see, what you're saying to us, and accurately so, and it's what we teach all day, every day, these days especially. You just said, well, I have this general sense about it. And when I think about it generally, how do you feel when you think about it generally?
Certain aspects of it, I feel that will always be part of my life. But how
do you feel about the stock market generally?
It's a game that I enjoy playing. Will always enjoy playing.
How does it fit in with global economy? Does it matter?
Oh, it's a game, and
an influential game. or a non-influential game?
It's an influential game, and sometimes I get sucked into all the news in the world.
Well, if you are a vibrational being and you create through focus, just because the stock market is about speculation and because it's about projections, we're here telling you that everything is about that. In other words, it sort of represents what we're talking about in general. And so when we ask you, is the stock market, does it have any effect on economy?
Yes.
Huge. It's huge. It may have the biggest effect on economy. And why is that?
It's a reflection of the...
this is the most important word you will ever say. It's the reflection of...
the consciousness of the public, in the world.
So it's a reflection of the consciousness. That's a really good word. Is there another word? It's a reflection of the... Another word. It's a reflection of the... expectation. It's a reflection of the expectation. It matters. It matters a lot. And that's why we're extracting from you, because you come from a very exact place of being able to take this conversation forward. Everything is about expectation. And when you have a segment of your economic world that is expectation driven, and you are now freeing yourself from the uncomfortable specifics and able to go into the life-giving generalities of it, do you realize the impact that someone like you could have on global economics?
Never thought of it that way.
We know you didn't. We know you didn't. But you're not going to all of a sudden be able to erase from your mind everything that you've come to know, everything that you intuitively know, all of the things that you want, because your wishes have not been for a personal gain or even for a personal gain of people who were important to you. You've been rooting for the raising of the market for everyone. You know, a bigger market serves more, but even more than that, you know that optimism serves more, you see. It's the optimistic climate that you are wanting to amplify, enhance, and influence. And you can, way more than you think. And we wouldn't call it a hobby.
Okay.
Now you can do anything else you have time to do. Go fishing if you want. But think about the stock market while you fish. A little.
Okay.
Well, now we've had our way with you. You may have your way with us. Something more?